Okay, we're going to start the meeting today. We are here on October 18th, Wednesday, for the Environment, Education, Sustainability meeting. Can I have a roll call? And before I do the roll call, I want to say that Councilwoman Turner here has been appointed by the President of Council to be able to participate and vote in this committee. Can I have a roll call?
And just for the record, this meeting is being recorded and live streamed on the county's YouTube page. Calling the roll, Ms. Simon.
Here.
Ms. Stevens is absent. Mr. Jones is absent. Mr. Shrine is absent. Ms. Conwell.
Present.
Ms. Turner.
Present.
There is a quorum.
Thank you so much. Public comment, Madam Clerk?
No, Madam Chair, no one is signed in.
And we have minutes from October 4th. Can I have a motion to approve those minutes, please?
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Minutes approved. First item will be the Riddall Foundation application. Can I have that read into the record?
Resolution number 2023-0279, awarding a total sum not to exceed $30,000 to the Riddall Foundation for the Green Partnerships Veterans Training Program from the District 8 ARPA Community Grant Fund.
Thank you. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Can you introduce yourself?
The green button.
Okay. Hello, can you hear me? Good afternoon. My name is Keymon Durden. I am one of the co-founders of the Riddall Green Partnership, an urban farm located on the east side of Cleveland. We started in 2010, and with 1.3 acres. Today, we farm over 18 acres in the city of Cleveland. All right, well, I'm here today to present our very exciting veterans program. First, let me thank the council for inviting us for such an opportunity. We've been running our veterans program for the last 4 years, and since then we've trained over 400 to 500 veterans on urban agriculture, how to compost, how to start their own farming business, and also aquaponics. We believe at Riddall that many gentlemen, women, and ladies that return from war, many of those come back with injuries that may not allow them to go back to a traditional workplace. And we believe that through our training program, which we've done for several years, has been very successful at giving veterans skills that they could take into their community to start their own farm, to create their own business, to begin to have a meaningful part in community again. Beyond that, at our farm located off of East 82nd and Kinsman, we have dedicated a hoop house just to veterans. So if a veteran's having a rough day, they can come to our farm, kind of relax, decompress, and kind of just be in tranquil location. Many studies have shown that being in a green environment can help reduce the symptoms of post-traumatic stress disorder, so we use that as a therapeutic tool. We're very active with the City of Cleveland's Veteran Collaborative. We are planning and working with the collaborative to plan this year's Veterans Day, which is coming up in a few weeks in November. The staff from the city meets every week at our farm every Tuesday to talk about veterans issues around the City of Cleveland and throughout the county. We also look at employment. So when our graduates finish our program, they can be employed at many of our businesses that we operate. We do operate an indoor produce market in Maple Heights where we have several veterans work there. It's called Farmer Jones Market. We also hire them at our farm site where they could do a number of tasks from composting to our aquaponics operation to maintenance to just general duties around our farm. We've also been very active in the community with Armed Forces Day. We've hosted Armed Forces Day for the last 4 years. Again, just to recognize and give credit to those that have served our country so well. We want to be able to give back. Part of our training module shows veterans how to farm in an urban environment using our top grade black gold soil. We also talk about aquaponics, composting, turning food waste into soil. And all these become avenues where veterans could receive employment opportunities upon graduating from our program. Again, we just want to simply say that we are very excited about this. We've had professors from Tri-C come and evaluate our program and talk about the benefits that it's had on the veterans that have been through our program. So we're very excited. One of my partners, our director of veterans program, is not here today. But I did include a short video. He wanted to say something. His name is Walter Collins. To that point, we're working with Union Miles Development Corporation. We will be building a 16-unit housing complex for homeless veterans right at 93rd and Harvard. Ground has already been broken. The sign is up. We're all really excited about that, and it will bear the name of Walter Collins. So we're really excited about that, about helping getting veterans off of the street and get them into a healthy environment where they can participate in society again. And lastly, we'll say that we really think this program is important because many times the family is left with the burden to take care of veterans after the VA does what it can do in the other social services. And we just want to be an extension to those family members to say, we're here to help. We're in the community. We all have veterans in our family. We know the effect that it has, both for wounds that you can see and invisible wounds, maybe mental or psychological, that we can assist with through our training program. So if we could segue to the short 2-minute video, I would thank you for your time and really look forward to working with you again in the future. Thank you.
Morning. My name is Walter Collins. I'm the director of the Red All Green Partnership Veterans Program. I'm a Vietnam veteran of 4 years and an 11-year Army veteran. I apologize for not being able to be there before the committee. I like to think we are trying to do something here at Red All Green Partnership that address the veterans issue and at the same time advise the community on the issue that we're trying to address. We're concentrating primarily on the homeless, addressing PTSD, and also suicide prevention. We're also addressing the issue of invisible injuries and wounds, and this is very, very important, not only with our program, but this is something that we feel like the community need to address as a whole. I appreciate any opportunity for the county to participate or assist us in what we're trying to do. We're addressing the veterans themselves, and we're also addressing the families of the veterans, mainly with the word to get out that in the past, the issue have been visible wounds such as amputations and bullet wounds and burn scars, whereas right now we're dealing, most of our veterans come home, they have invisible wounds. And by them being invisible, it is up to the community to develop programs to address them before the behavior that comes along with invisible wounds surface and create a problem to where our veterans are going into veterans court. We're trying to create a program where we can address the problems proactive and give our veterans a chance to address their issues without one having the Behavior Act out. And when it comes out, it usually come out as a DWI or domestic abuse or crime, suicide, and we're trying to prevent this. And we appreciate any opportunity that the county can assist us with, and you're more than welcome to visit our program and look at what we're trying to do in our community. Thank you. Hopefully anything, the assistance that the county could assist us with, we appreciate it and look forward to addressing any questions you have. Thank you very much.
All right,
Thank you.
Thank you, and I just brought a few brochures just about our veterans program for you, if it's
Okay.
okay.
Okay, I do want to say that all three of these ARPA items have been sponsored by Councilwoman Turner, so thank you for bringing these items to our attention. And are there questions and statement?
I believe this one is being sponsored by Council President Jones.
Oh,
Yes.
this should have, okay, thank you. This, okay, 2 out of 3. This, and I'm sorry President Jones isn't here to speak to
Yes.
this. I'm a huge fan. I've read all, I know you have different programs and lunches available. It's just really growing.
Yes,
And
yes.
it's really something to be proud of in the city. And, but are there questions from the committee members on the veteran training? What kind of, how will this money be used for training specifically?
Yeah, we're going to offer stipends to somewhere between 15 and 20 veterans. Oftentimes, many veterans are on a fixed income, and we do have a fee for our training programs that we could offset the trainers and pay salaries and so forth, and any printed materials that come along with the training. So this would offer vouchers or stipends for up to 10 to 15 veterans to participate in this year's coming training program.
So the training, when veterans come into the program, there's a charge?
Yes,
And this
yes.
will cover that?
Offset that
for us?
charge, correct.
Okay.
Correct.
And how else do the veterans come up with the money if they're, and you're focusing on homeless, are there other sources of
Yes, yes.
sponsorships?
Yeah, we offer in-kind services through Ritol. We also have a grant through Farm Credit that helps us with support our veterans activities. Because what we do with veterans is year-round. It's not just our training. We go year-round. And even the picture that you saw Uncle Walt in, that's what we call him, Uncle Walt. That's in that's the Veterans Greenhouse with all the beautiful greenery that was in the background. So we do have other sources through our own personal income and through Farm Credit and partnership with the city and county.
Okay, I really appreciate this. So without any questions, this matter will be read 3 times, and so it has to go through a couple more council readings after it's referred out of committee.
Okay?
Okay, so.
Chair?
Yes.
I would like to add my name, but I would also like to add an additional $10,000 to this legislation.
Okay, well, that means, thank you.
Bless you.
So really, the councilwoman is one of the sponsors.
It's meant to be.
Saw that coming somehow. So now our staff isn't here, but usually what we do is we'll put this, keep it in committee, make the change in the technicality. But now you potentially are going to be looking at 40,000.
It's a good change.
Yeah, that's a lot. Thank you.
Excuse me, Madam Chair, do you want to make an amendment now? or
We
you-
do it so many different ways, but yes, I can move to amend that this resolution will have an additional 10,000 from Councilwoman Turner's District 9 fund. And that's a motion. Can I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And I'm going to add my name, and this will carry on then as
Thank
for the 3 readings.
I'd like to
Thank
add my
you so
name.
much.
And Councilwoman Conwell.
Thank you so
Okay.
much.
Excuse me,
Thank you.
Madam Chair, we need one more motion to move it out of
Oh,
committee.
a motion to move this up. Can I
I'll
have
make a motion,
to move this
Chair.
out of committee for?
Second.
Okay, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Done. Nice. Thank you.
Thank you all so much. Can't
And thanks
believe
for
the
your
benefit
work.
this will have to our community. Thank you.
Yep,
Have a good
Well,
afternoon.
to Mr.
Thank you.
Collins for us.
yes. By Uncle Walt. Yeah,
Great job, what they do there. Great
yeah,
job.
I know. Okay, next item, human trafficking.
Resolution number 2023-0280, awarding a total sum not to exceed $10,000 to the Collaborative to End Human Trafficking for the Human Trafficking Education and Training Program for Schools from the District 9 ARPA Community Grant Fund.
Hello.
Hello. Hi, how are you? Thank you so much for having me speak about our human trafficking education and training program today. My name is Kirsty Muncie. I'm the president and CEO at the Collaborative to End Human Trafficking. The Collaborative to End Human Trafficking is in our community. We are a voice for survivors of human trafficking. Our vision is to eradicate this horrific crime and what we believe public health issue in every community. And our mission is to lead, empower, and connect our community to eradicate human trafficking. Since its beginning in 2007, the Collaborative to End Human Trafficking has been a community call to action to make people aware that human trafficking exists in every community and that we need to educate people in all sectors, in all communities, on what human trafficking really looks like. It is not the white van that takes people off the street and kidnaps them. It is not strangers. It is people in our own communities who are affected by this, unfortunately, primarily youth. We know that about 25% of all victims of human trafficking are youth and children. The age of entry into the life of trafficking is often anywhere between 13 to 17 years old. And then the trajectory for someone who enters the life of trafficking is being in that life for 10 years and coming out of the life again takes another 10 years to be back to a life quality that is of someone who's not trafficked at all. So it's a long road ahead, and at the Collaborative to End Human Trafficking, we believe that we can prevent this issue from happening, and we certainly want to provide services for survivors who are impacted by it. So as our name says, we are a collaborative. We believe that this is an issue that no organization or person or system alone can combat. So we bring together over 75 organizations and systems in Cuyahoga County. We work collaboratively to knit a safety net together for trafficking victims. So when they are recovered or when they identify as such, they receive immediate support and services to move into that recovery phase. In addition, the Collaborative educates our community. We continue to raise awareness, and because awareness has increased, because education has increased in our community, we have moved also into the training and technical assistance space. So many organizations are asking us to train them further, give them more or education, and help them be better equipped to identify victims. So with every issue that lives in the shadows, that is underreported and underrecognized, the more we talk about it, the more we train, the more we educate, the more victims we are identifying, and the more important it is to create that safety net of services. Earlier this year in February, we held a youth summit that was focused on at-risk youth in Cuyahoga County. It was a very impactful summit. And I want to tell you a couple things that we learned, although they were not new to us, but they were certainly confirmed. And what was confirmed in this summit was that children are not experienced trafficking as the first trauma in their life. There are many other traumas that come first. There are astonishing numbers that we see over and over again. 87% of children are child welfare involved. They're runaways. They have experience with sexual abuse, mental illness, divorce and separation of parent, homelessness, poverty, the list goes on and on and on. And while we still don't have a very good grasp on prevalence numbers of human trafficking, we do know that vulnerabilities lead to youth and adults entering the human trafficking pipeline. So you see some of those vulnerabilities and some of those protective factors here on the list. And actually on the next slide, you can see that at any given moment, about 50 million people across the globe are affected by trafficking, and again, 25% are children. So what we also learned in this youth summit in February, which again brought over 65 youth-serving organizations, over 100 individuals together for 2 days, we really worked very, very hard. And what we learned that there are significant resiliency factors that we can employ. And we learned that what's very specifically important for survivors of trafficking, and we learn this from survivors of trafficking all the time, is that one person who's invested, who knows about this issue, who can see the signs and vulnerabilities, is often that first person who responds and can help a youth to leave the life and seek help. The other slide that I want to show you specifically for Cuyahoga County, which is also information we learned and then put into a report, which you will have available after the meeting. We have learned that children in Cuyahoga County are more vulnerable to human trafficking based on adverse childhood experiences, which are traumas prior to being in the trafficking pipeline, than the average Ohio and in the U.S. So you see the numbers in Cuyahoga County much higher than other averages. So many youth, and this is what we also learned in the summit, thus many youth continue to go to school. Many youth continue to be with their families during their trafficking situation. So we know that supportive adults can intervene and play a very active role. So our proposal for you today is an increase, a very comprehensive model for educating and training schools. That includes students, and that includes teachers, and that includes school personnel. We believe if we see schools as a system that we can impact, we can raise awareness, we can train professionals on what to look for and how to intervene. We can prevent human trafficking from happening by educating children about safe relationships, about online safety, about dangerous predatory behavior. We can increase student self-esteem, which is one of the indicators often for someone lured into the trafficking is a very low self-esteem. And we can support. This information is hard and difficult to digest and learn. So supporting teachers, supporting school staff in that process, learning that information, changing policies and procedures is also something the collaborative can do. So what will this proposal do for us? So when you look at our data from last year, we have educated. We've been in schools. We reached 400 students, primarily in CMSD, and we reached teachers. But what you see here on the slide is that we either reach the students or we reach the school personnel. And we don't think that that is a comprehensive solution that will really address human trafficking in schools. So what we would like to see next year is that when we go into the school, like East Tech, we reach students, and we reach the principals, and we reach the administrators, and the counselors, and the nurses, and everyone will have the same information and can move the system forward. So we're hoping with the support of you and the additional dollars, we will increase our student reach by 150%, and we will reach our staff, we will reach a staff increase of 220%. So you saw before that staff is less likely than students to participate in our programming, but with this additional funding and with this comprehensive program that we're hoping to do, we can make that happen. In addition, I want to share with you that the time is right for this. We have House Bill 105, which is Aaron's Law, that just passed. It requires each public school to provide annual developmentally appropriate instructions on violence prevention, which includes human trafficking, to K and 12 scholars. And this law includes the education of teachers and staff in addition to students. We know that schools are scrambling to put that program together, and the Collaborative to End Human Trafficking can really support and bring that education to schools and provide it in a comprehensive way to meet the law by providing this to students as well as teachers and school staff. So that is our proposal. We think that this can really have a huge impact on vulnerable children to prevent human trafficking from happening, but also intervene situations in which students are already in a trafficking situation and are offered support. So the trajectory of the 10-year into the life can be shortened significantly for them. Thank you.
No, thank you. Any questions?
Madam Chair, there was a couple of statements you made in terms of in trafficking. So I've always thought trafficking was somebody take someone and they take them across county lines or something like that. But it sounded in your presentation that trafficking could also include children that are still in their environments but are being trafficked.
That is correct. We see a lot of trafficked individuals where movement is not at all happening, and trafficking happens right in their community, in their own houses sometimes. We have learned through the Youth Summit, for example, and much research that's done on the national and statewide level, that a large percentage of trafficking is familiar trafficking. So it happens right in their own home, where parents or other individuals that take care of them sell children for drugs, for money, for sometimes even, very sadly, food or other items. So unfortunately, yes, this perception that there has to be movement is not at all true.
All right, thank you.
Councilwoman?
Thank you. I just had a comment. Recently, I had an opportunity to attend your event, which highlighted this organization's commitment to empower survivors of human trafficking. There was a young lady who gave a testimony, and it was just heart-wrenching. So I want to thank you for the work that you do, your team, all of your supporters, and it is truly a privilege and an honor for me to support you in this way. Attending the event that night inspired change in me. So thank you for this opportunity to serve.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Okay. Is there a definition of trafficking?
Yes. So human trafficking, in its essence, is the exploitation of human beings for profit through sex or labor. And the three criteria that have to be present is coercion, fraud, or force. So those have to be there for someone to be tricked or forced in a situation. Now, with children, anyone under 18 who participates or is forced to be in the commercial sex industry, force, fraud, and coercion does not have to be proven. So anyone under the age of 18 who is in the commercial sex trade is automatically a survivor or a victim of human trafficking. The law is very clear about that because minors cannot give consent.
So Councilwoman Conwell's question of follow-up on actual movement, I was listening, I think, to you on NPR about it's a fallacy that trafficking occurs more frequently where highways are. Did I hear you say that?
We do say that, and there is sometimes movement. So it is something, again, we have a very hard time putting our finger on exact percentages. For a long time, yes, Ohio was or still is quoted as top 5, one of the states for human trafficking, where human trafficking happens. And certainly the law enforcement often cites our highway system, our connection to other states, Canada, as one of the ways that people get trafficked.
Okay, I really appreciate it. I've been
Yeah.
following you and what you've been doing. I'm going to add 5,000 to this, if that's going to help with this curriculum you're developing.
Thank
right?
you so much. Yes.
Okay, so I guess I'll make a motion to add 5,000 from District 11 fund.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so that will be added on.
Thank you so very
Thank
much.
you
We
for
really
your work.
appreciate it. And like Councilwoman Turner said, we do have a large group of survivor advisors who participate and who will be delivering some of this programming as well. They make a huge difference, and they will be very excited to hear about
This will be a model nationally, probably too, right?
We love that.
I think you're ahead of it.
We are ahead of it, yes.
You're ahead of it. Okay,
Thank
we're
you
gonna.
so much.
Thank you. I'm going to make a motion.
Nay.
Okay, and Councilwoman Conwell's name and mine. And do I have a motion to move this out of committee into the full council?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, this will be heard at the next council meeting. One more ARPA item for Shaker Schools, the Aisha Fraser Fund.
Resolution number 2023-0281, awarding a total sum not to exceed $10,000 to the Shaker Schools Foundation for the Aisha Fraser Fund from the District 9 ARPA Community Grant Fund.
Thanks so much. My name is Holly Coughlin, and I'm the Executive Director of the Shaker Schools Foundation, and I'm here with my colleague.
Hi, I'm Shantae Thomas, and I'm a teacher at Woodbury Elementary School for the last 29 years.
And we have a few slides we'd like to share with you that gives you a look at the two areas that we're coming to you to help us. The Shaker Schools Foundation is a nonprofit, a 501c3, and we are here to support our Shaker students, every student in every grade and every school. And the reason that this is important to us is every one of our 5th and 6th graders goes through Woodbury Elementary School. It's the home to 600 students, and there's often a misconception about the demographics of Shaker in the community. Currently, 43% of our students at Woodbury School are on free or reduced lunch. You can go down South Woodland and you can see million-dollar homes, and then you can go in communities where the opposite is really true. We have 50% students of color, 35% white, and the 6th grade camp is in its 45th year. So think about 45 years ago, what the demographics of Shaker was. There was not the need that there is today. And that's why providing camperships to families, to students that don't have the financial means is so important, because we want every Shaker student to have the full experience, regardless of income.
And so we are coming to you in honor of our fallen colleague, Aisha Fraser. And she was a teacher in Shaker for 16 years. She was my very dear friend. We both were mothers of learning disabled children. She's a fierce advocate for even the domestic situation that she endured, and she didn't shy away from it. She helped others. She loved to dance. She loved camp. She was a fierce at camp. Students loved her, and we want people to be able to remember her. We cannot this is an unfortunate anniversary. This is the 5th year of her passing. And, you know, our staff, we still, you know, we remember and we talk and we just, you know, we mourn our loss. But we want to find a way to just shed her light, share her light. And so one of the things that we're proposing, should I talk about the bench? Is we want to have a memorial bench for her. One of the things in our school is that we have several benches for teachers who have retired, principals who have retired, but her impact is just beyond all that I can say from the time that I have known her. And so we want a bench for her, and the bench that we have for her has a quote from Alvin Ailey, which shares her love of dance. And this is going to be placed in our 6th grade playground area. And there will be a place to reflect, just to relax. It's going to be between two beautiful shade trees. But we want people to remember, and we want to honor her.
Thank you. We want to tell you why 6th grade camp is so important. And there is data that shows how it impacts our students. There are so many students that don't have an overnight experience. They don't get out in nature. And this really provides them a unique opportunity. It also builds teamwork, camaraderie, and it also connects them with our staff. The goal is to continue to build this fund so we can ensure that every student at Woodbury gets this really special opportunity. And Kent State and Cleveland State have done research studies on the camp, including staff and students, and really find it to be impactful around self-esteem, social skills. And now more than ever, with the coronavirus, just like every student, our students were affected too. Our families were affected. We have several parents who lost their lives because of COVID. We have families that have lost jobs. And so the economic hardship has added to their social emotional. And so this is something that every Shaker student looks forward to. It has been around since my kids and families before. So we really want to provide camperships so every student can go. And then Ms. Thomas told you about the bench, and as she said, it's a tradition. There's sadly, a lot of benches on the Shaker Schools campuses, and it's to honor those people that we've loved and lost. So the funding, we have a memorial fund, and the way that we support camperships is through the fund. Our foundation helps close gaps with our educational equity fund. So the county's really going to allow us to help more students. And every year we find there's more need. And as we've said, the bench will provide really years of comfort. So this is a quick look at some of our students. You can see that, kids don't do archery anymore. These are great experiences. There's ropes courses. There's kids of all shapes and sizes and colors that come together in this environment.
I think one of the beauty of our camp, I was a sixth grade teacher for 13 years. And so I also went to camp with students. And some of our students, they don't have a camp in the summer. They don't look forward to that. Camp is very expensive. And so to be able to provide the quality camp that we have, there's fishing. I mean, there's the zip line, as you saw. They look forward to the walking tacos. They look forward to the campfires at night. And it's also a chance for some of our diverse learners to really just show their skills. So, we have to really be in the business of, giving everyone a chance to be successful. So I might not be as successful in class as I am, at a camp. And so our camp is, as you said, it's an amazing tradition. And we want to make sure that cost is not the reason that kids are afraid to say they can't go, because they don't say that, So we want to just make sure that we can just make sure everyone goes.
Where is the camp?
This past year, it's been at Camp Beaumont, which is the Boy Scout camp. It's been Camp Wise. So this year, I'm not sure if they're going to be back at Camp Wise or not. So we move around.
Yeah, tomorrow is when we kick off the camp planning. Yeah. What other questions do you have?
Questions from committee? I just want to thank the councilwoman representing Shaker that brought this before us. Very important. Mm-hmm. Any comments?
Yeah, I just want to mention, first of all, I'm so grateful to be in this position at this time for a place in times such as this. Aisha and I, we graduated from Shaker High School together, 8th grade through high school. And we became members of Delta Sigma Theta sorority together. So she's my line sister. And she just called me Mayor. And I can't think of a better way than to support students that she loved by helping to, support the camp and to support literacy and to support, in a positive way, her memory. Right. So thank you for this opportunity. I ran into Shantae and she was telling me about some of the amazing plans that the foundation was considering. And I jumped at the opportunity to support her memory in this way. So thank you again for your service and for allowing me to be of service to someone that I love so much. Thank you.
Yeah. I think we all can remember where we were when we heard the news. It's like 9/11. I mean, I know exactly where I was standing. And that's such a testament to her that
I agree. And I talked to her mother today, coincidentally. And she is going to be honored at the Shaker Schools Alumni Hall of Fame. And her mother could not be happier to share stories, to share all the ways that Aisha impacted not just her students, but she served the community in so many ways. And I mean, her mother lifted my heart today. And it was a call that I put off for a few days. So she'll be there to share the memories. And her daughters are now 13 and 16. And I sort of lost a couple years in there, and they go to Shaker Schools. So thank you.
Okay, so can I have a motion? Well, I'll add my name, Conwell.
I have my name.
Well,
A second on the motion?
second to move it. Recommendation of passage for second reading in our next full council meeting. Good luck with camp, and thank you for what you're doing. All in favor?
Aye.
Kind of given, but I guess we have to do it formally. Okay. So we have time, fortunately, to hear from an update on Project Love and the training in the schools, which, by the way, the theme of today, everything is connected, by the way. If we look at everything we're doing is tied together with self-esteem, with how that impacts trafficking, how the camp for sixth graders would help lift that, and the importance of community, and I think it's all tied together in this committee today. So this is going to be the tie about the school and what Project Love's doing.
Yeah, well, we appreciate everything that County Council has done for us in the past several years. I'm here with my colleagues. Let me make introductions. Sean Sweet, who is our Director of Community Partnerships, and Abby Bell, who is our Director of Workforce Training, and Naya Brooks, who is our Head of Workforce Placement. We added last year the position of Workforce Placement so that when students go through the 16-week training program, and the objective here with the VIA training program, which stands for Values in Action, is to give students the soft skills and character and values elements so that they transition from high school directly into the workplace, into entry-level jobs that pay a minimum of $35,000 a year plus benefits, et cetera, vacation time benefits, 401k, et cetera. And a lot of the idea behind the training is to enable the students to get a healthy dose of self-awareness, which is very important for going out into the world, for interacting with workplace colleagues, for having a successful life. So who am I? What do I stand for? Is the other one of the three elements of the VIA training. And the third element is, how do I win at the game of life? The metaphor that we use in the training is that if life is a game, how do you win at the game of life? And what game are you playing? Are you playing the success game, or are you playing the survival game? You know, if you're playing the survival game, the rules of that game are different than the success game that you want to play when you enter the workplace. And obviously, we want all of our children in Cuyahoga County, and especially our underserved children, to be able to have successful lives, which, let's face it, are anchored by a successful job and successful career. You know, if, as Dr. Menifee from John Adams High School said to me a couple of years ago when we placed one of our students at Majestic Steel, which was one of the mentorship companies, and then the student reported to Dr. Menifee that he enjoyed his job so much that he asked Majestic Steel, could he bring his father, who was out of work, to apply for a job? And he said to his supervisor that his father had the same values that he had, and that his father was going to be a hard worker. And they hired his father, and Dr. Menifee, the principal of John Adams High School, came to me and he said, you know what, Stuart, we pulled one entire family out of poverty. And that's what we seek to do. We have some update exhibits for all of you, which Abby is going to summarize in a couple of minutes, but then we're going to distribute to you. We have some charts, but before we get to that, I'd like to show you an update video just to refamiliarize all of you, a very, very brief video on the VIA workforce training. Okay. Well, is there a way to send the video to each of the council members just so that you have a copy? Yeah, so we're just going to summarize where we were last year. Last year, we did 6 schools. Now, mind you, this is a 16-week comprehensive training program. Every 3 weeks, the students meet with mentors who hear presentations on their character and values and what they've learned, how they plan on going into the workplace, how they plan on engaging people during a successful life, et cetera. And last year we had 6 schools: Bedford High School, Brush High School, Euclid Middle School, John F. Kennedy High School, John Marshall School of Engineering, and Cheney Learning Center, which is in Summit County. So we had 5 schools in Cuyahoga County, supported in part by the county budget. This year, I'm happy to report that we have 14 schools on the VIA training program. During the first semester, we have Bedford High School, Euclid Middle School, Garrett Morgan School of Leadership and Innovation, Ginn Academy, Mayfield High School, Mentor High School, which of course is Lake County, John F. Kennedy High School, John Marshall School of Engineering, and second semester we also have Cheney Learning Center, which of course is in Summit County. Second semester we have the Broadway Academy at Mount Pleasant School. We have Shaker Middle School, and we have Brush High School during second semester. So all told, we've grown from 5 schools in Cuyahoga County to 12 schools that we're serving in Cuyahoga County. The cost for each school, given the intensity of the training and the interaction with mentors and everything that we have to do, is $44,000. So obviously, we tremendously value the county's money, but we're subventing and adding to the county's money through our general budget as well, big time, because if you just do the math for 10 schools, that's $440,000, and last year we received $50,000 from the county. I'd like Abby Bell to just update the council on some of the metrics and the results from last year. Abby?
Excuse me, Madam Chair, I'm sorry. I believe the video should be working now, if you want me to try it.
Let's hear from Abby and then show that we can close out with the video.
So we do a survey at the beginning and a survey at the end to ask the kids to rate their skills. And last year, we actually had a 55% increase in communication, which is the most important skill that they need for the job placement. And also, we had, I believe it was 80% of all the students saw an increase in at least 3 of the soft skills needed for job placement. And wouldn't you agree? Yes. And also, we do a final presentation at the end, which is called Who Am I? And you'll see from the graph that the students actually had excellence as the highest metric. So they were graded on, I think communications is about 75% of the evaluation that they do. So that being said, with it to come in excellent like that from all the mentors is fantastic.
So in other words, there are these student surveys and the mentor surveys where, the mentors evaluate the students. And the mentors saw a tremendous increase in the performance of excellence which of course, is a standard, for any job, the students saw a tremendous increase of all of the metrics. They saw a tremendous increase in their ability to communicate and their ability to have the self-confidence to communicate. And obviously, communication is everything. As we've said to our students, if you're in the workplace and your babysitter hasn't shown up and you have a choice between communicating to your boss or not showing up, not showing up is a no-no. That's going to get you fired. If you communicate to your boss and explain the problem, 99.9% of the time, if you have a caring boss, that boss is going to understand and be able to compensate for your absence. And if you don't have a caring boss and you communicate, you should be working for another company. You shouldn't be working for that company. And the students actually go through a values alignment with companies, and they research companies and research the values. And one of the significant things that I've observed in meeting with the students is that they're able to articulate that Majestic Steel's values are this, and I align with Majestic Steel's values. I want to go to work for Majestic Steel, and I researched this other company, and they had a lot of information for their customers, but they had no information about their values. And that's a telling thing, when you're working for a company in this day and age that doesn't have any information about diversity, equity, and inclusion or about other values. That's a telling sign that maybe you want to, in your interview, at least question what are your values, or look at another company. So, it builds a lot on self-awareness, a lot on self-confidence, a lot on who am I, how do I treat the other, how do I treat the other with kindness, caring and respect, which is, we're very big on kindness in Values in Action and Project Love. Why don't we turn to the video for just a couple minutes.
Project Love has played a big role in my life. I was looking for a job and I had an interview coming up and I honestly didn't know what to do. It was my first interview and we just so happened to be going over values that you need and what do you need in the workforce and how to behave, how to act. And I went to the interview, I used what I learned, and I got the job. They've done a lot for me, and I'm sure they've done a lot for other students.
Character building lasts your lifetime because a person can be hired on their talent, but they can be fired on their character.
The Values in Action program is actually one that we felt should be a program that's required by all high school students before they graduate. We couldn't wait to have the opportunity to bring them here to our company and spend some time with them and to bring forward the people that we have, the leaders in our company that are successful, and talk about how values and character have impacted their success and made them successful people in the workplace.
Values in Action is a 16-week comprehensive training program where the students learn positive behaviors, values such as integrity, teamwork, responsibility, and what that looks like in the workplace. In my role in this program, I was provided as a mentor from Swayzat Company to the students. The interactions began in the classroom where we would first meet the students and talk about our culture in the workforce. We would then meet with them periodically and have one-on-one sessions with them. We saw a nice transformation in the students that we work with. We watched them transform from a what's in it for me attitude to more collaborative, value-based performance in the way that they handle themselves every day in the workplace.
After I participated in VIA, I learned that values and soft skills were the most important thing. Values are not just words, but throughout VIA, I was able to put the values into action.
The major strength that Project Love and the Values in Action have are their connections and the context they have within the community. As my students worked through the capstone project, one of the components of that was that they worked with mentors. And so the company that we partnered with is Majestic Steel, and Majestic Steel employees volunteer to mentor our students along each step of the process in the Capstone project.
I think the value to the students has been that they've really got to see what it's like to work at a business. Employees who understand what good values are really bring that to work. So not only are they bringing those values and sharing them with other employees, but they also bring that to our customers.
I've learned soft skills for values in action, for like jobs and interview skills and how to make a resume.
In the Values in Action program, I've learned a ton of things. I've learned about how to be ready for career and a lot of things preparing me for college.
I would recommend Values in Action to other schools to use it. I think it's very valuable in any student's education.
Honesty, self-expression.
Respect.
So we'd like to ask the council to consider this year. I know that we've had an annual allocation of $50,000 from the council. We'd like the council to consider that we're more than doubling the number of schools. If the council can consider a boost in the allocation, we certainly would appreciate it. And certainly glad to entertain any questions.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, so this has been in our budget, I think, 2 cycles now.
Yes, 2
and
cycles,
we were able to do
yes.
that. So we'll look at that.
Great.
Okay. Any questions, comments? No? Okay, so we'll get back to you. We just started the budget process and appreciate the work you're doing, Stuart, and your team.
Well, thank you. Appreciate the interest the council has in all you do in our community. Thank you. And we have these materials that we'll distribute. Should we?
Give it to our clerk.
Okay, great. Thank you. Have a great day.
Thank you. Meeting adjourned.